Hi, my name's Kaylee, and I'm at the Isabel Cup Finals, and you're watching Post to Post. Go Riveters!
Hello and welcome to Post, the channel where we discuss all things hockey and all teams. And three things to talk about here today. Well, actually, kind of five things to talk about. First thing is going to be emails. So our email address is listed below in the description. And I've gotten a ton of emails. I get a ton of emails on a regular basis. And right now I have 121 emails to respond to. So if you've sent me an email or a private message on Twitter or Instagram, I'm sorry, but I just don't have the time to respond to everyone right now. I will do my best to reply to everyone this weekend, but if you're waiting for a reply, you probably won't get it until the weekend. So I do apologize, but it's just too much to reply to all at once. And I know it just takes a couple seconds to reply to someone, but when you have over 120 of those to do, it takes hours and hours. So I appreciate all the emails, all the interest, all the questions. I love hearing from you guys. There's just going to be a little bit of a delay to get back to you guys, but anyways, I appreciate all the support. First, I want to talk about goaltender interference, but before I do, it kind of involves officials, and because it involves officials, I want to talk about what happened last night. And if you haven't seen the clip, it was between the Edmonton Oilers and the Columbus Blue Jackets. And there was kind of a weird play where a player fell over another player, and then that player kind of slid into a linesman, and the linesman fell down, Steve Barton, and he actually hit his head on the ice, and it was really tough to watch. It wasn't gruesome. There wasn't blood. Many of you have probably already saw it, but there wasn't gruesome or anything like that. So you can go watch it. But it was very, very tough to watch because he hit his head, and he kind of hit the side of his head, and his body immediately went straight, basically. His legs were up in the air, and he didn't bend his knees and stuff. They just dropped. It was very clearly there was some issues there with movement, and I don't know, spine or something like that. He's okay now. Apparently he flew home to rest and stuff. He can walk, he can move his limbs. He's going to be okay. But for that moment, for that little bit of 10 or 15 minutes or whatever it was, they had to stretcher him off the ice. It was very, very scary. I would go watch the clip because I think it's important to see, and to just for the fact that freak accidents happen. It's dangerous, and yeah, it was great to see all the support from the players and stuff, and hopefully Steve gets well soon. Very freak accident, and very tough to watch. But keeping with the referees and stuff, goaltender interference, the NHL announced that all future goaltender interference calls the final decision will be made in the Situation Room in Toronto versus the referees on the ice. Now, this is the first step to hopefully fixing the issue. It doesn't fix the issue of subjectivity and the rule understanding and what is and what isn't goaltender interference. However, at least the final decision will be made by someone who is not influenced on the game itself. If a referee makes the call on the ice and then goes to review the play, he might be influenced by his previous decision on the ice to uphold his previous decision, so he doesn't look like a fool reversing it, looking at the replay, because he didn't catch it when it was live. So I think this is a good step forward. You get an outside source, a referee. There's going to be a referee, a former NHL referee in the Situation Room, helping them make these calls. Those referees are Don Van Massenhoven, Bill McCreary, Paul Dvorsky, Rob Schick, and eventually Stephen Walcombe. And all these guys are very credited referees. They've done the Olympics, World Cups, Stanley Cup Finals, and obviously regular season games. Stephen Walcombe himself has refereed over 600 regular season games. So that's great news as far as decision making, especially since the playoffs are coming up. It's really important. They still need to work on the rule because it's not even close to where it should be, because we would never be in this situation otherwise. So just a note there. I think this is good timing, but there's so many goals and games that would have gone differently, even last year as well, if this rule had have been fixed when it should have been fixed. Anyway, I digress. Moving on. Chara. is the next person I want to talk about. Now, Chara is 41, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think he's 41, and he's making $4 million this year. He just got an extension, I think today, and they're going to give him $5 million next year, so 2018, 2019. So he got a raise. When you're 41 and you're playing hockey, usually you don't get a raise. You get kind of a demotion, I guess, financially. But he got a raise. He got $1 million extra next year, which is good for him. He's in great physical condition. He still does a lot of important things on the ice for Boston. I'm not a huge Chara fan. I'm not a huge Boston fan, but he does do a lot of important things. He's still slow. He's always been slow. He's even people who love Chara. It's not an opinion. It's a fact. He's slow. He's got an incredible shot. But he's an interesting player because he can't really compare him to anyone else in the NHL because he's so unique. He's so tall. He's so thin. Alexiak is really tall, but they play different style hockey, and Chara himself has played different style hockey his entire career. He used to fight all the time. He was a power play specialist. At one point, they had him playing on the power play in front of the net, screening the goalie. He's played a ton of different roles. He's very good defensively. So it's good that they're going to retain him for another year. A little surprised with the promotion, but that promotion comes into effect because the cap's going up. So I think that's the only reason. If the cap was staying at the same level, he wouldn't have got that extra $1 million. Probably another 4 million, sorry, maybe 3, depending. But yeah, I think that's good news for Boston. He's still in great shape, and I'll be curious to see if he signs another extension next year for the following 2019-2020 year. Boston fans, let me know in the comments how you feel about the signing. Last on my list is the percentage or odds, percentage for the draft picks have been released, and or draft standings. So 31st gets the highest percentage chance to get the first overall pick. 30th gets the second highest percentage to get the second overall pick, or whatever. So that's basically how it goes. So I just want to read them to you a little bit. There's a lot of them, so I'm not going to put them all on the screen, but I'll put like the top 3 percentages for years. So I have 2018, 2017, and 2015, 2016, because they were the same in 2015, 2016. So if the last place team, 31st place team this year would have an 18.5% chance to get the first overall pick. Last year, they had an 18% chance, and the 2 years before that, they would have had a 20% chance. So these numbers vary based on rules and stuff that they make, but also with Vegas coming in this year, that really kind of throws an extra thing into the mix with an extra team, so the percentages are going to change a little bit. 30th, you're looking at 13.5 for this year, 12.1 for last year, and 13.5 for 2016-2015. So 13.5 and 18.5, that's a 5% difference. It feels like a lot, but it's really not. I mean, 5% out of 100 is kind of nothing. So there's still a really good chance that the second or 30th seeded team could pick first. And 29th is 11.5% in 2018, and in 2017 it was 10.3, and 2016-15 it was 11.5. So the difference between 30th and 29 is basically nothing. It's 2%. So that's nothing. So I feel like this is a really good spread because 5% is the biggest spread here, and it's between number 1 and number 2. And then all the other ones basically differentiate by 2%, and then it's another 2%, then 1%, 1%, 1%, 1%, then 5.5%, and so on down the list. So it gets tighter. I think this is a good system. I know some people don't agree with it. They don't agree with any percentages. If you come in last place, you get first overall pick, and that's how it used to be. But I do like the percentages because it's exciting. We get to see things like last year. I think Dallas moved up from like 9th to 3rd or something like that, and New Jersey was 6th, and they got the first overall pick, something like that. I can't remember. It's so long ago. But yeah, it's exciting, and changes history and just makes things exciting. So that's all I have to talk about for today. I hope you guys are having fun watching hockey, and the playoffs are approaching. Some of your teams are already in a playoff spot. Some of your teams are fighting for a playoff spot, and some of your teams, like my team, the Canadians, are in the dumpsters and just playing for fun. So regardless, playoffs are almost here. It's exciting hockey. Hope you guys are having a good day. Thanks for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you're not subscribed, I hope you can hit the subscribe button. If you like this video, hit the like button down below, and I'll see you in the next one tomorrow. Adios.